if everybody thinks that Token Druid is not a deck worthy of bringing to the tournament, that means they don't respect it. That means they don't build their decks to beat it.
True story.
Which means that the couple of players that did bring it to the tournament look a little bit better. And Token Druid has been, you know, if you look at deck aggregate sites, Token Druid has been up there as one of the highest win rate decks. It just doesn't necessarily match like pro player sentiment about the deck.
It's like how a Conquest match works.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why it's a high win rate deck is because, one, it's a deck that preyed early on in the expansion on unrefined lists. Because it just keeps building boards and it'll kill you if you have weak turns, which unrefined decks often have weak turns. Two, it's a very cheap deck to play. Its dust cost is not very high, which means there's a lot of players playing it, which means there's a lot of players refining it. So you get those huge sample sizes that allows you to build your deck according to the meta. So I think those are a couple reasons why the win rate might be inflated, as I mentioned, compared to the sentiment of the players.
Pitch away Leroy, card draw number 1. Leroy, not from the mulligan, but on turn 1.
Yeah.
This feels reminiscent of the first game.
Yeah, and Jing's got just a decent start. I mean, Acorn Bear into the Dreamway Guardians is pretty much what you want.
Yeah, I will be curious, actually, because I think Jing has a possibility of coining out the Dreamway Guardian here. That's really the major option for Jing right now. But when I'm looking at a hand like this, and I'm looking at Forest Aid, I think that Jing's opening is good enough to perhaps get to turn 7 without using coin and then coining out Forest Aid. That is such a strong turn when you're in parity. If the game's like at all even, Forest Aid is a crushingly good card. So early on already with questions. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, this contests the board so nicely.
Also, this is a matchup that's about the board, right? Zoo Warlock can tend to run away with boards very quickly. And if you can chop down a board of a Token Druid, they struggle. Because pretty much half the cards in their deck rely on them already having a board.
That Voidwalker is a nice draw for Bunnyhoppor here. I imagine we're gonna be seeing Abusive Sergeant and start mopping up these little 1-2s.
The problem is his follow-up.
Well, it's a Soulfire and then tap. I think in this, you said it. I mean, the matchup's all about the board. I don't think that a Leroy or perhaps a random card is going to really be the difference. I think it's about securing board. And with Life Tap, what that means is...
If that's the case, do you Soulfire now? Do you Abusive Sergeant Soulfire?
No, I want a Voidwalker.
Okay.
I want... The 1-3 is different. That fights the board. And it fights the board quite well. Talking about the Token Druid list for Jing in this one. 2 copies of Swiper in there. 1 copy of Starfall included in the list. Interesting choice that I think can help fight in a matchup like this one. And to me, the big one I look at is Archmage Vargoth. 4-mana 2/6, and it plays a spell at random that you played this turn. Hitting that card with like Blessing of Ancients or Power of the Wild can be such a massive turn. Oh, Magic Carpet. Well, that makes this a lot easier.
We're going to go on a Magic Carpet ride.
Oh, yeah.
To hell.
I got dark quick.
The problem is Magic Carpet has 0 synergy with his current hand.
Well, I mean, the rest of the deck is really what you're looking for, right? There's 18 1-cost cards. 5 of those are spells, excuse me. This is some critical draw moments here for Bunnyhoppor, though. Jing's turn pretty straightforward.
The bright side for Jing here is that, let's say Bunnyhoppor just unloads a ton of 1-drops next turn. He's got the swipe to clear up. And if that's what he's expecting, do you just pre-trade this Hench Clan Hogsteed into the Magic Carpet to set up?
I would think so. I think that having the swipe next turn is something you're going to consider expending anyway, even if Bunnyhoppor really didn't have a bunch of minions in play.
Time waits for no one.
It's got to have 2 of them, though.
It's a pretty big tell if he goes for a play like that, but I don't think at this point you care.
This be our neck.
Oh, boy. Well, things just got quite weird. None of these are Soulfire targets, that's for sure.
Well, a tap's on the menu.
I wonder.
Few Soulfire targets in the deck, I mean, all things considered. You know, looking at 2 copies of Belligerent Gnome, a Keeper Steladris, maybe a Power of the Wild, making a 3/2.
Yeah, very little.
Ooh. Witchwood a pretty good draw.
Yeah, Witchwood Imp's very interesting. It's also just an interesting inclusion in the deck from the get-go.
It makes a lot of sense with Magic Carpet.
It does, yeah.
This was not my contract.
Another slow card for Jing. Just got to keep hacking away at that carpet.
He does. Keep hacking away at the carpet. Eventually, you'll get to turn 8. You can play Forest Aid, and then...
Really high thread count that carpet is. Not those 260 thread count carpets that are like sandpaper. We're talking 800 thread count. Google it, it's a thing.
Witchwood Imp, 1/1, Death Rattle. Give your carpets 200 threads.
I guess the question here is the squirrels, honestly. Like, I think that there's some pretty good reason to not play them, given the blessing in hand.
Time waits for no one.
Twin Spell, give them +1/+1. So on turn 5, if you just draw like another poor card, you at least get to make a couple of 2/2s that way.
Yeah.
It's not like Magic Carpet's really beating down the door, but
Yeah.
you do want to account for another Witchwood, perhaps?
This is such a weird game because both players' hands have been pretty atrocious in the early game. They like had a great start. They both are like one drop, board pressure, trade minions.
Hero power, hero power,
Hero power, do nothing, hero power.
Solarium will be nice for next turn on
Yep.
Bunnyhopper's side. Another slow turn, though. Gosh, can you imagine if this was against Rogue? There's no way these decks would win. With these
I know.
hands.
So many possibilities.
It's like they're fighting with spaghetti.
That was the name of my last album. Ooh. That's a good way to handle the Magic Carpet. Get to hero power the 1/1 as well. This is like a really bad arena decks that are slapping each other right now. Don't look at the hands, just look at what's happening in play. They'll turn into good arena decks eventually, but right now...
War Druid Lodi. Doesn't make its way into too many Token Druid lists, but Token Druid's a deck that can be teched in so many different ways.
It's one of the things I really like about it. I'd say that that Jing's version is looking quite decent against Warrior, while at the same time having a little bit more game versus aggressive decks.
Yeah. I think Poisonous here is the best, honestly, as weird as it sounds.
No way! You kill that carpet. I'm not letting that thing stick around. I'm tired of it.
Well, the thing about it was, I was thinking to set up for a better swipe.
Oh, you're going for like the nutso plays.
Yeah, because if you rush this in, now you... I mean, I guess it's the same. You give him like a better... no, this is better.
There's not really anything big in Bunnyhoppor's deck to hit. I mean, we're
Well,
looking
I
at...
was thinking you don't give him anything for the egg to trade into. You poisonous over the egg the next turn, and then you swipe away the board that he develops.
I'd be worried about Grim Rally a little bit.
Grim Rally would be the punish to that, and I think this play is quite obviously better against that.
Spell Lackey offered, so Grim Rally is possible.
Hellfire.
Sense Demons. Pretty nice looking swipe that Jing's going to have on this turn. Pretty ugly looking draw that Jing's going to have on this turn.
Are we
Turn 7 is what's going to be really critical here for Jing, because after this swipe, his hand is atrocious for turn 7.
I'm just curious if Bunnyhopper's going to jam the Archvillain next turn.
I mean, I think you do.
Well, he picked the Hellfire, so he does have...
His hand is so bad right now.
Yeah.
The Jing's at 30. You have like 15 more 1-cost cards in the deck. Like, I don't think Knife Jugglers and Crystallizer and Argent Squires are going to get there anymore. You've been stifled. And if your opponent plays the Forest Aid in order to generate 2/2s, the Hellfire only stops that for 1 turn.
Yeah.
I think you're slamming that Arc Thief for Fom right here, and that's the way you're going to win this game. Is this the 1 in 10 games that it wins?
All right, Sottle, I hope you're watching.
Yes, Sottle.
All right, he's not
Oh, come on.
If you're not going to play it there, don't put it in your deck. All right, well, it turns out he drew the nuts from Solarium, so whatever.
You do get another turn to play it at least.
Yeah.
You could play it next turn.
From nothing.
Oh, man.
Sometimes from nothing as well. And 4-cost card summons 4 1/1 imps. I'm thinking like Knife Juggler. Oh gosh, the turn from this is a scary bad turn from Jing.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna look at this board and go, oh my gosh, I am so now think about that coin that was in question, right? If Jing had tried to fight honestly on board, he would have been behind. I think he would have caught back up at the swipe, and he would have coined Forest State on this turn. It would have been a different landscape, but given how Bunnyhoppor's hand panned out, Jing was not going to be under threat, really.
Yeah, honestly,
You can't foresee that, though.
the way this game has panned out with Jing pretty much having a dead turn this turn, I don't think Bunnyhopper's going to play the Archvillain Reform because he wants that 10 burst damage from hand. With Hellfire, you go to turn 10, that's 13 burst damage from hand. He's going to probably try and put on as much damage as he possibly can this turn. And then on the Forest Aid turn, which is pretty obvious at this point.
If Forest State isn't obvious right now, I just have no idea what would be at this point.
Yeah. So he's pushing 8 now, pushes him down to 21. He's got 10 burst damage in hand. If Forest Aid is going to be played next turn, he can expect 3 damage to be eliminated, which means he's going to be pushing for 6 the following turn. He's a little bit off, but that doesn't even include the minions that he's going to play this turn that can get the recurring damage.
I know that it's better to probably not play the Archvillain Reform, but that's what everybody wants to see right now. Grim Rally gets drawn for Bunnyhoppor.
And he's got the perfect target for the Grim Rally with the abusive Sergeant,
Oh boy.
which is basically only in the deck for its Battle Cry. And now, Jinx just doesn't have time to play the Forest Aid because he's going to die.
Grim Rally is the draw that Bunnyhoppor has been looking for quite some time. And the turn 7 from Jing is what gave Bunnyhoppor this real opportunity. Without this, he would have had to pay so much respect to board. What?
Ah, Fiendish Circle, and then Grim Rally.
Okay.
He does push less damage this way. Does he still set up for lethal?
That's the burst from hand, so I think so because of that.
Oh, yeah, he's got plenty. Plenty of
So he's
damage.
threatening 14 next turn just on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jing.
And even if Bunnyhoppor didn't even have Burst Hammer from hand, Forest looks terrible here.
And you can see why I said if the board is even. If. It's a very large if, and you had some dreadful looking turns with a bunch of buffs in hand. Only option for Jing is the Forest Aid. Bunnyhopper's going to force game number 5 here with probably one of the slowest zoo starts that I've seen in a long time.
Just a weird game overall.
Weird set so far. Everything's been weird. That means Warrior's going to have to get the job done. Sorry, not Warrior.
Rogue.
I don't know why I said Warrior. Rogue.
There it is.
There it is.